Okay, so let's go over notes for the quiz, assignment number 38. He says quiz number 7, but that might be wrong. But let's do a review. So there is a couple median problems for your trapezoid. Okay, does anybody remember the formula for that? Just say it out loud.
What was the question?
What do you remember the formula for the median for a trapezoid?
I don't.
Okay, is anybody else? It starts with a 1/2. Okay. If you're only going to put it in the chat box, this is going to take way too long because we only have.
Is it
Go ahead.
1/2 B1 plus B2?
It is. Awesome. Yep. And the B1 and B2 need to go in the parentheses. Awesome. Okay, so let me give you a problem and let's try it. So this is going to be 99, 83, and let's find the median. So remember, the median always goes on the left. Okay. So 1/2, 83 plus 99. Do I need to multiply both sides by 2? Say it out loud, yes or no? Okay, so yes, somebody got the answer. Okay. I only multiply by 2 when the variable is in the parentheses. Okay, so I'm not going to multiply by 2. Not times 2. Okay, because I can add these together. I get 1/2 of 182. What's 1/2 of 182? What's 1/2 of 182?
$91.
91. Awesome. M is equal to 91, and that would be your answer. Okay. We're going to actually work it backwards. We're going to use the same problem so you can see that it really is the same. Okay, this time I'm going to give you the median, which we know is 91. And I'm going to give you this base of 99. And we need to find our other base. So it's the same exact formula of M is equal to 1/2 B1 plus B2. So let's fill it in. Where does the M go, on the left or right?
The left.
The left. Okay, so the M goes on the left. 1/2. My B1 is what I'm trying to find. My B2 is 99. Okay, do I need to multiply by 2 this time?
Yeah.
Yes, good. Okay, so this time I'm going to multiply by 2 because the variable's over here. So I get 182 is equal to the 2's cancel, which is the magic we wanted, B plus 99. And then if I subtract 99 on both sides, we get the 83. Okay. So there's one of each of those on the quiz. Let's talk about parallelograms and angles. So we know that opposite angles are equal and the other equal 180. The others equal 180. So if I'm looking for X, is that opposite from 100 or is it an other?
Other?
Okay, well, if I go directly across, you go directly across, it's going to be, those are the opposite ones. Okay,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
the equals, the opposites. So these are going to be equal because they're opposite. Okay. So draw an arrow across. Then that way you know it's the equal ones. So I know that 2x is equal to 100. And then if you divide both sides by 2, x equals 50. So there's x. So if I'm solving for y, I don't have an opposite, but I have an other. Okay. So these are the other, and I know that these have to equal 180. So that becomes my equation. 100 plus y equals 180. If you subtract 100 on both sides, you get y equals 80. Questions on those? Okay, anybody still writing? Talk about diagonals. Diagonals of a parallelogram. Okay, oh, I got my parallelogram. Diagonals. Okay, bisect each other. What does it mean to bisect?
Divide in 2 parts?
Yeah, divide into two equal parts. Awesome, thank you. So A, B, C, D. We'll call that E. Okay. So what we know is that this part would equal, so AE would equal EC, DE would equal EB. So you're going to have one of each of these types of problems. So if DE is equal to X plus 2 and DB equals 20, we need to solve for X. Okay, well, this might get really cluttered for some of you who are very visual people. So I would say we're looking at the diagonal DB. Let's just draw DB. That's all we're really looking at. And there's my E. Let's fill in the information. We know that DE is X plus 2. And we know that DB is equal to 20. So I need an equation. Do I know what EB is?
Yes.
What is it?
X plus 2.
Good. It's also X plus 2 because we know that these are equal. So if they're equal, then I can write it again. So there's our equation. So like this is the part plus part, which happen to be the same, is equal to the whole. Okay, so we write that X plus 2 plus X plus 2 is equal to 20. And then we continue to solve. So 2x plus 4 equals 20. And then subtracting 4 on both sides, you get 2x equals 16. And then dividing both sides by 2, you get x equals 8. And if we were actually like on a Tuesday or Wednesday doing this, I would be waiting for you guys to be participating a little bit more. But I appreciate what you are doing immensely. Okay. So let's use the same parallelogram. This time, I'm going to talk about the other diagonal. AC. So I'm going to say that AE is equal to x plus 5, and EC is equal to 3x minus 7.
You equal them up to each other?
Yes. Why are they equal? You're right, but do you remember why?
No.
Okay, no, you're fine. Okay, because up here, remember we said that the diagonals bisect each other, so that means we know that each half is equal to the other half. Okay, so that was awesome though. Thank you. So we know that AE is equal to EC. So we know AE is equal to EC. So let's label what we've got. We've got x plus 5 over there. We've got 3x minus 7 for that one. Well, if we know that they're equal, then that becomes my equation. So I will say that x plus 5 is equal to 3x minus 7 and continue to solve. So subtracting x on both sides, 5 is equal to 2x minus 7. And then we can add 7 to both sides. So 12 is equal to 2x. And then dividing both sides by 2, get x equals 6. Yeah. Guys, remember to keep your videos muted unless you're talking. Okay. Okey-dokey. So then next, let's talk about rectangles. So we can have parallelograms, or we can have a special parallelogram called a rectangle. And these, the diagonals still bisect each other, but it's because it's a parallel, because it's a rectangle, not only do they bisect, but the diagonals are also equal to each other. So the diagonals are equal in a rectangle. So we're going to find angles this time, though. If it's angle 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make that bigger. There we go. So what do I know about angle 1 and angle 2?
They would be the same.
They are, good. But I have a special triangle here. If I cover this up, and I cover this one up, do you remember what kind of triangle that is? Anybody? Starts with an I.
Isosceles?
Good. An isosceles triangle. We know the base angles are equal. So what would that make angle 2 then?
15.
15. Does anybody remember how to find angle 3?
Don't you minus it by a 90?
Yep, good. Because the angles of a rectangle all equal 90. So so these two together have to equal 90. So what would that make angle 3? Some of you got it. Share it. 90 minus 15 is what?
75.
75. Good. So what does that make angle 4 then?
$75.
Yep, also 75. Because remember, you still have a different isosceles triangle over here. So that being isosceles, that's going to make angle 3 and angle 4 also equal. Okay. Let's just recap on the diagonals for a minute. Since I know that the diagonals are equal, okay, let's say the whole thing is 20. How big is the other diagonal? How big is the other diagonal if they're equal?
20.
20, good. So, and then we know that each of these halves are also equal. So this is 10, that's 10, this is 10, and that's 10. Okay. So that'll help you on 2 of the other questions in the quiz. Okay. So now let's talk about a rhombus. So a rhombus looks like a slanted square, kind of. So just like with a square, all the sides are equal, the rhombus also has all the sides that are equal. And here's the diagonals. And just like the other parallelograms, the diagonals will bisect. So the diagonals will bisect, but the diagonals are also perpendicular. What does it mean to be perpendicular? What does it mean to be perpendicular? What's the degree measurement?
90 degrees.
90 degrees, good. So I know that it's equal to 90, so that means this 90, that 90, that 90, and that 90. So they're all 90 degrees. That makes 4 right triangles, 4 identical actual right triangles. So this time if I tell you, we'll just use the same numbers to make the math easy. Here's angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4. But we also know with the diagonals, they bisect the big angles. Like this is a big angle right here. This is a big angle, big angle, big angle. We also know that it bisects the angles. That makes angle 1 equal to angle 2. And angle 3 equal to angle 4. So if I tell you that angle 1 is 15, what does that make angle 2?
15.
15, good. Okay. What does it make angle 3 if that's a right triangle?
15?
No, they're not quite equal.
Oh.
75.
35, good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good. Because together they have to equal 90. So we draw up here like 90 because it's a right triangle. So that would also make angle 3 75. How does that make angle 4? Good. So you put it in the chat box. Anybody want to say it?
$75.
Good. 75. Okay. Because the diagonals make angle 1 and angle 2 equal, makes angle 3 and angle 4 equal. We make these two angles over here equal and those two at the bottom also equal. Okay, but not necessarily equal to each other. Like 2 and 3 don't equal each other unless they were 45. So this will help you on one of the questions on the quiz. The rest comes from assignment number 28, the yellow box. And I actually print it out. It's not yellow, it's gray because I printed it like that. But if you bring up assignment number 28, we did actually do all of this in class together, like the whole assignment. That was the first one that we started to do together. But because you'll remember, these look real familiar, don't they? I hope. So you have a couple of questions like these at the bottom on your quiz. That's what we just went over. Okay, so let me ask you this. So we're talking parallelograms. Parallelograms. That's a generic term. Okay. Is a rectangle a parallelogram? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is a rhombus a parallelogram?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about a square?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
No.
So
Wait, yeah, sorry.
yeah, no, you're right the first time. That's good. Okay. So these are special parallelograms. Okay. So what's true for the generic parallelogram will also be true for the others. Is it true that the sides are parallel? Yes. The sides are opposite sides are also congruent. The opposite angles are equal. Remember, we just went over that. We didn't go over this one too much, but the diagonals do form congruent triangles. Okay? And last, the diagonals do bisect each other. That's why we did all those problems. Well, if it's true for the generic triangle, it's going to be true for, not triangle, sorry. It's true for the special generic parallelogram, sorry. It's also true for the special parallelogram. So it's true for all of those. It's true for all of those, and it's true for all of those. Okay. So this is one reason that I said when you submitted the assignment, you needed to have these written out, because it doesn't do you any good on your quiz to just have a sheet with a bunch of checks on it. It won't help you at all because you won't know what is true and false for. Okay. So you have 10 true false questions based on this box. Okay, so a generic parallelogram, it's not true for any of these down here, but it will be true for some of these others. So which two are the diagonals equal? Is it a
Rectangle and square.
Which one?
Rectangle and square.
Good. Rectangle and square. So rectangle and square. Remember that a square is a special rectangle. And a square is also a special rhombus. So whatever's true for the rectangle is true for the square. Whatever's true for the rhombus is true for the square. Okay, so which ones have the diagonals that are perpendicular?
A rhombus and a square.
Good. Yep. The rhombus and the square. That's why we just said, that those are 90-degree angles in your rhombus. Good. Okay, so which two do the diagonals bisect the angles, the big angles?
Rhombus and square.
Good. Yep, we just did those. Okay, which one has all the corners to be a right angle? all the angles are right angles.
Rectangle and square.
Good. And last, which two have all the sides that are equal?
None.
All the sides that are equal would be a rhombus, good, and a square. Nice. Notice that the square has all 10 of them marked. Okay, the square and the rectangle and the rhombus, it's not true for the rectangle if it's true for the rhombus. Okay, so they're like all opposites, but it is true for the square. Okay. Any questions on that? If you understood this chart and the problems that we just did as part of the review, then you will get, I'm sure, an A on your quiz. Okay, be very careful because those true false questions, sometimes I mix up a word, so be very careful. Any questions on that? We still have a few more minutes, so any questions that I can help you with from, let's say, last week or week before, any assignments that you're working on that you have questions?